on YouTube. And let me make sure my volume's down on my Palm Pilot. And it's a beautiful day outside. I mean, people are outside throwing the frisbee, flying a kite, different things of that nature. Got my man Teddy in the house. Scoot over, Teddy. You ain't got to worry about the mics. It's professional. Mix it up. We got to stay in the picture, though. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Shout out to Maya's Mission and Tied for Second, New Freedom
Make
Center.
sure you hit the bell. Tell everyone. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications on YouTube. So I get a notification every time,
Yep.
so I know it's on.
And what hit the bell does?
It's like because you can subscribe and then you can hit subscribe and then hit that bell to make it so every time you go live or put in a video,
It'll pop up.
you get a notification on your phone.
Okay. Yeah. Follow the YouTube page, folks. Don't just look at it. Hit subscribe. Go through the videos. Hit like. Show me some love. You know, we're trying to get this YouTube page growing. You know, and today's a special day. You know,
Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby.
welcome back to another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. Man, I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. I think it got up to 70 degrees today, and we're almost in May. People around the country right now, they done went to spring break. They got their third sunburn. You know what I mean? They starting to tan now. And we just got our foreheads and our cheeks a little red today. You know what I mean? But tonight's show is being sponsored by Tied for Second Sober Living and New Freedom Center. Beds are available. Just call 701 527 4000. Also, New Freedom Center is hiring. If you're looking for a new career field or you're just looking for a job and you've been sober a while now, contact New Freedom Center. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Maya's Mission. Um, Cheney, a great lady, she started a foundation and it's after her daughter that passed away from this deadly disease. And shout out to Maya's Mission for showing love to Sober Talk. I'm forever grateful. I can't wait to meet you in person. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Serenity Bridge Sober Living right here in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you're looking for a bed, contact Serenity Bridge Sober Living. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Resurrection Tattoo. If you want to get hooked up and not effed up, go stop in at Resurrection Tattoo. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Prairie Recovery Center in Raleigh, North Dakota. If you're looking for a bed, call PRC. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Preferred Heating and Air, Treasures of the Sea and Earth, the House of Fade, and all the other people out there that show love for Sober Talk. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Well, I got a special guest in the house tonight. I got my brother from another, Ted Kelly. What's up, Ted?
Hey,
How you doing, brother?
pretty good, pretty good.
You having a good day?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Uh, what did you do when you first woke up today?
Um, got ready and went to a meeting.
Early in the morning?
Yeah,
What time?
yeah, 12 o'clock.
Oh,
But I
you was
got
off
this.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got to play hooky.
Got to sleep in and
Yeah.
then go to a meeting.
He said, screw Ferris Bueller's day off. Ted Kelly's day off. Uh, did you go to an NA or AA meeting?
AA meeting at Serenity Place.
Serenity
12
Place?
o'clock, yeah.
Oh yeah, the 12 o'clock nooner.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? It be popping. That's where all the knowledge is at.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I hit that on a regular about 2, 3 times a week. When I can. And so, Ted, how long have you been sober and clean?
Um, 8 years and 9 months.
Congratulations, my brother.
Thanks.
Well, on behalf of Sober Talk, and shout out to my man Cornerstone Woodworking for making these 3D printer. It's the 12 steps: service, patience, awareness, accountability, responsibility, humility, willingness, trust, honesty, faith, hope, and surrender. They got the Sober Talk logo on one side, and we got the AA logo on the other side. But that's for you, brother. You could put that on your desk one day.
Yeah.
And on behalf of Jay Doble, that's currently at the Garden Expo at the Bismarck Event Center this weekend. You know, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoning, baby. This the official J Dobo on the go. When you're in the break room at work, you can pop that bad boy out, sprinkle a little magic on there, and you can be happy. But that's for you, brother.
Thanks.
Swatches don't open up in your pocket.
All right.
Yeah, that happened to me. Because it was a spicy day, you know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah. Then I got it in my eye. They talk about they can't handle the original spice. I had the next level in my eye. The wind picked up at the wrong time. But Ted, uh, where are you originally from?
Um, my mom's from the three affiliated tribes.
Okay.
That's where I'm enrolled,
Mhm.
and my dad's from Standing Rock.
Okay. So Standing Rock and
Yep.
three affiliates.
Yep.
A little bit the best of both worlds.
Yep.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true.
So where did you, when you was born, where did you live?
Um, in White Shield for a little bit, and then we moved down to Standing Rock to Sioux Village,
Okay.
the reservation down there.
All right. Any brothers, sisters?
Yeah. We got 6 brothers.
Six brothers.
Yep.
Same mom and dad?
Yep.
But they
And
weren't
then
playing no game.
and then 2 half brothers and 1 sister.
Man, y'all got a whole basketball team.
Yep. Yep.
What on the pecking order? What age? One were you?
I'm the second from the oldest.
Second to the oldest, and
Yep.
you look like you keep getting younger. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Teddy didn't found the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
But how was it growing up? A lot of fights with your siblings. Did y'all have any spiritual life?
Yeah. It was it was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Uh, we fought like brothers do, and I mean, when I was with my staying with my mom when I was younger, there was just me and my 2 younger brothers when we were living in Sioux Village. So that was when I was about in fourth grade,
Hmm.
and so that it wasn't never all of us at once.
Yeah. How old were you when you first tried drugs or alcohol?
Um, what I can remember, I think it was around fourth grade. I
Fourth grade?
started puffing gas,
Yeah.
white
I
out.
started doing that too. Man,
Yeah,
what was we thinking?
I know.
Breaking
Yeah,
into people's sheds, stealing their gas can,
yeah,
hitting the wall walls. You know what I
yeah,
mean? A wall wall. You
yeah.
know?
No parents around, and I remember with that day we missed school. But there was only us at home and missed school, and one of our friends come over and he was like, "Whose car is that outside?" And I said, "I don't know. It's broke down. Is there gas in it? It's broke down." I know, but is there gas in it? I don't know, I think so. He went outside and he started huffing gas, and we were like checking him out for a while. And we went out there, of course, and started in. And man, it was just after that. It's like whatever someone had that seemed like it gave that effect, we'd
Yeah.
always be trying it.
Right. Um, play any sports in school growing up?
I tried, but it was always just like I didn't really put my all into it
Hmm.
because by the time I did start sports was around 6th grade, and by then I was already, because when I was in 3rd grade, we were already stealing alcohol from my parents or
Right.
from my mom. and we go up to the room, drink some beers, and by the time I hit sixth grade, I was drinking pretty consistently, and my the reason why I like being on the sports is we go on bus rides to other towns, bring some alcohol. There'd be, the cheerleaders and us guys would be in the back getting drunk, and it was just kind of a party or whatever.
Throwing rocks at the other bus.
Didn't do that, but
Oh,
it was, I just went there just mostly to socialize and get drunk.
did you finish school?
Nope, no.
What happened?
Um, I got locked up in sixth grade. I got put in the state industrial school when I was 12, and that turned into repetitive thing.
Mhm.
I'd get out, go back in, get out, go back in, and I got out for a little bit when I was in ninth grade, and that was the last year that I finished. I ended up going back in till I was 18,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't get a chance to do it. I was so far behind,
Right.
you know.
Um,
You know, Bert Daly,
Bert Daly, it sounds familiar.
right there. That's my grandpa.
Um, mm,
um, did you get out and then get more trouble, or did you go straight from there to like the big house?
I got out and got right back in trouble. Well, after I turned 18, I probably was free for like about maybe a year, and then I ended up going to federal prison,
Okay. For how long?
4 years.
How was that? Where did you go?
Um, Sandstone, Minnesota, the first time,
Okay.
and then the second time to Pekin, Illinois.
So 4 years in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Well, how was that when you got there? What did you expect?
Oh no, I was scared. I was really scared. But I went in there, me and my older brother went in, and it was just, I was pretty nervous, and to make it even worse, right the day that we got there, a big giant fight broke out on the yard, and being
The
um
first your first day there?
yeah, us guys walked out onto the yard, and as soon as we got out there, we were standing by the sweat lodge, and just a clash of people just went at it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy man,
Yeah.
still got how many years to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then how long in Illinois?
A year and a half.
Okay. Um, any of those times you were in there, did you think about changing your life or staying sober?
No, did
No.
the exact opposite. When I went into federal prison, I started hanging around with people who were in there for manufacturing, and asking them how they did what they did, and hanging around with people who were in there for, moving stuff, and I'd ask them
Mhm.
different things.
Yep.
It was like, I really didn't, have an idea of, like this guts to change, you
Right.
know.
Um, so how many times have you been to prison?
After those times, then I went to state prison,
Okay.
and I was in state prison probably, I think, 4 times.
In North Dakota?
Yep, yep.
NDSP? The
No,
walls?
out at JRCC,
Okay.
and
Where
then
are we going?
yep.
Yep. So yeah, me and Teddy's coming with me. We're doing a sober talk event, barbers and speakers at JRCC, Jamestown Correctional Facility, May 12th. And then Teddy also came and spoke at the farm with me uh last year.
Yep.
Yep. That was pretty good too. Um so at what point at what point did you have kids? 'Cause I know you got you a little squad.
Yeah.
In
Um,
between?
After I got out of federal prison my first time, I had my son.
Mhm.
So that was 2004.
Damn. How old is your son?
He's gonna be 21 in July.
Your son is the same age as my daughter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
had it in 2004.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be 21 in October.
Oh,
Yep. So, um, and then you got what, two sons?
no, son and daughter.
The two?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you had your first son, what were your thoughts? Did you even care? Or were you just lost? Or were you
I
ready for
nope.
it?
I I don't know. I didn't know what to think.
Right.
I I didn't have I mean, no idea what to do. I wanted a good life for him, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like I had no idea how to do that and no idea how to stop whatever I was feeling inside. I
Hmm.
mean, so I mean, I did what I was used to.
Hmm.
I mean, it, what like what you're saying about how are you feeling and stuff, it's I got to get a good idea of how that played out in my life after I got clean.
Right.
My son, when he was born, this guy's got a video camera and recorded up to he was 4 years old. And I remember when he got those video cassettes after I got clean, he said, "Hey, look at what mom gave me. She said us guys could develop them and put them on a disc and watch them." And I was like, "Cool." I was all excited. And after I got them developed, I started remembering the type of person I was.
Hmm.
And I remember how that felt. This guy sat down, and it's crazy just when I think back on it, the
Hmm.
different emotions that were going on because I was sitting there watching his birth and being in every single video, the first video that went by, the second one. But as the videos went on and on and on, the older he got, the less I started being in the videos and the more just his mom and him were in there.
Right.
And it was just this feeling of, I wonder if he notices that I'm not even there anymore. And he looked happy and his mom looked happy, but towards the last video, I was nowhere in
Right.
them, and I was out there doing whatever I was doing.
Right.
So I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and it was more of a thing of just worrying about not being able to be the person that he needs, you
Right.
know.
Um, what were some of the darkest points of your using an addiction and before you got sober? Or
Um,
what led you up to getting sober?
um, I can't really say like it was one particular event because I kind of feel like I was so used to it,
Hmm.
so used to going in and out, going into prison, really felt like a relief when I would get arrested. I just feel like, oh man, finally get to relax, get healthy, get out,
Hmm.
these things. And that was something I was accustomed to. And I kind of feel like, nothing happens you know, I mean, things don't just happen for no reason.
Right.
Before I got clean, um, I was driving out to Lincoln. I got pulled over by the cops at 3 in the morning. I had a backpack full of a bunch of illegal stuff.
Hmm.
And that cop said, "Are you drinking?" And I said, "No." He said, "You smell like alcohol." And I said, "It's probably that grapefruit juice." And he said, "Can you do a sobriety test?" I said, "Yeah." I got out, did the sobriety test. Said, "All right, just wanted to make sure. Go ahead, you could leave." And I jumped in the car and I was just like, holy man, if you would have checked that bag, I would have been going back.
Hmm.
And I look at it like if I would have went back, it would have kept up that cycle. I would have went in, got healthy, got back out, started using, went in, got out, same thing back and forth. But I ended up not going. I mean, he didn't search the car.
Yep.
And where I kind of started uh, thinking about things was my kid's mom. I mean, she took care of the kids while I was out doing whatever. And I always looked at it like, I mean, I'm gonna go visit my kids over at my mom's house, or not my mom, my kid's mom. I'm gonna go visit my kids over there. But really, I wasn't going over there to visit them, It was a place where I could eat, I could sleep for 2, 3 days, get up and go back out.
Mhm.
And the reason she had let me come over there is because there was times when she'd need me to babysit.
Mhm.
And she was going to school, she was working a job, she was taking care of the kids, and she didn't have a babysitter, so she'd ask me, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it, I'll come over. And um, when she graduated from school and finally got a job, she told me, she was like, she said, if you're using, she said, you can't be coming over here.
Mhm.
And I just went in one ear and out the other,
Right.
came back over again. I was all messed up, and she was like, so are you on something? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
She was like, you can't come in here.
Mhm.
So, I mean, poor me. I went back to whatever trap house I was at and said,
Yeah.
oh, I went over there trying to see my kids, and she wouldn't even let me see them. Really playing the victim.
Yeah. How
And
dare she?
yeah. And, once I started realizing like my bridges were getting cut off, I I started realizing like, man, this is gonna start getting bad fast, I mean, when you're sitting in a house with five broke people and, I mean, one bag between all of you for the past 5 days, it's like shit gets old. And
Right.
I started thinking about that, and just out of nowhere, my kid's mom said, why don't you do something? She said, you should go to treatment. And this is before MHA,
Mhm.
n- which is such an awesome thing, I mean, how much help they give and stuff. But I
Mhm.
mean, they weren't up and running back then.
Mhm.
And I was like, shit, I would, but where do I go?
Right.
Acting like it was something on my mind. And
Mhm.
he was like, go up to West Central. They have free evals. I was like, all right, I'll go up there. And, I mean, went up there, tried to lie to, or I didn't go up there, tried to lie to her and said I did.
Mhm.
She ended up calling up there and they told her that I didn't go up there.
Right.
So I mean, she took me up there the second day, and I mean, I was just like the right thing said at the right time. I mean, I went up there on July 15th, and Justin, he told me, or Justin did my eval, and
Yeah.
he was like,
Talking about the tattoos?
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And he told me, he said, all right, grab whatever you got. Let's go. We're going over to ACS. And I was like, right now? And he said, yeah. And I said, hold on, because I wanted to
Mhm.
get high one more time, I
Right.
mean, it's always that last time's going to be the best time,
Right.
And I was like, hold on. I said, it's the 15th right now. I didn't say that, but I was like, my son's birthday's on the 17th. And he said, the best gift you could give him is to get yourself clean. And I was like, man, that's true, and I had no money to buy him no presents. And,
Right.
I'm at all his birthday parties. I was always messed up,
Right.
OD'd at one of his birthday parties. And,
He
you know,
OD'd at one of his birthday parties
not at the birthday, but I,
outside.
yeah, like they was going on and they said, hey, does anybody want to run to the store and get some hot dogs? And I was like, well, but I wasn't going to the store,
Right.
I left and went over to a house and did what I had to do. Woke up on a gurney and uh St. Alexis strapped down,
Well, I'm
and
glad you're still alive, brother.
you I mean that's so I mean when I went in there, it was those are probably the darkest time or when they're starting to get dark. Because I mean I to be honest, when I was in active addiction, I mean, it's straight selfishness, I mean, things that happened that were bad, I mean, if they weren't too severe, I really didn't dwell on them,
Mhm.
as long as I was getting high.
Mhm.
And I mean, after I went through ACS, I mean, I started getting those, I mean, getting clean and, I mean, I mean, when I was there, I mean, it was so much so much going on that I wasn't used to, you know. I mean, dealing with trying to get better and seeing my kids and stuff like that. I mean, I mean, I was there for like a week and I was about to head out. I was jonesing and I don't know why, but I called up my kid's mom and I said, I'm done with this, man. I can't do this. And hung up the phone, grabbed my little bag, had like two outfits in there,
Mhm.
grabbed that bag and headed out the door. And by chance, she lived on the other side of town. I walked outside and she was already parked outside. And
Where you going?
yep, and the kids came out and my son was crying and man, I mean, it was like those moments like that when I saw the looks on their faces and stuff and he was like, Dad, don't leave. And I had just that much of clean time and a week that it kind of made me feel a little bit to where I was like, I mean, I'll stick around,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm glad I did, and I'm glad, like, I mean, it, she always, she always, made it a point to remind me, like, I'm not trying to bring the kids around you for my benefit. It's that, I mean, it's so you could be in their lives, and it's something that I'm really grateful for, I mean, I mean, there's a lot of things that I would have turned my back on, and I mean, my kids would have been one of them,
Hmm.
I mean, in my addiction, and um, she would always, I mean, always keep them around, bring them over to see me or something like that, and
Hmm.
that's one thing I'm really grateful for.
All right.
Do that.
So, how long were you at ACS?
I'm not really sure what it was. I think it's like a month program or something. And after I ended up getting out of there, I went into a sober living house, or not a sober living house. They let us rent out it was an apartment building,
Hmm.
and through them, and uh, that place ended up getting shut down, and they were kind of giving us ideas on where we can go, where we can rent places out, and
At
uh,
that point, had you been to any meetings?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I started going right away. Like they recommended it at up at West Central,
Hmm.
and I'm just glad it clicked.
Hmm.
Um, tried to go to NA, but I mean, hearing about drugs constantly was a trigger for me. So I mean, I ended up going to AA for the first couple years, and that's once I was there, I mean, I started kind of not really working the program fully, but I mean, I started when I'd leave the place, I'd always feel better,
Right.
you know. I would always feel like whatever it was. I mean, now, I mean, I realize it was just, I mean, the hope and the strength that was in the rooms. I
Mm.
mean, I would leave there and I always feel a lot better, you
Right.
know.
And that's what it's all about. All the places that I go to or associated with, I felt I started feeling good. You know what I mean? When I was there and when I leave. Uh so 'cause I think we met probably a year, cause you 8 years sober, right?
Yeah,
And I'm 7.5.
yeah,
So yeah, I think I just started seeing you at meetings. You know what I mean?
yeah. The one at up north, you were always at that one.
Which one? At New Freedom Center?
Yeah,
At New Freedom
with
Center.
that fence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. That's when they used to have it every Saturday night.
yeah,
Yep. I think it was the first time I seen you when I was in treatment.
yeah.
Yep. and that Vinny was chairing the meeting.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's all grown up. He's got a car and stuff. Yeah, he's like a senior. Can I carry your books?
Their books. Yep.
But
Mm.
so at what point? Because I know you like a super dad. You know what I mean? If nobody don't know, Teddy is the most awesome dad in North Dakota. You know what I mean? And you started running rad.
Yep.
Um, and you still do it every week, or just sometimes?
Just sometimes, now that they're opening it back up at MRCC for the springtime, I'm gonna probably start going out there
Okay.
with them.
They they gonna start running down south.
Yep. Or just go for whatever they do, a 3 mile run or something out there I think it's every other Saturday, maybe.
What's the the most miles you ever ran in one session?
That's 13, the half marathon.
You was in a half marathon?
Yep. Yep.
It's nonstop,
Yep.
13 and a half. How did
Yep.
you feel after you crossed the finish line?
It felt good. I got it under 2 hours, and that's what I was shooting for, you know.
Right,
So I mean, it felt good. I mean, that helps out so much, you know.
right.
And it's running and just doing whatever events that I try to get myself
Yeah,
into.
I think I seen you in a triathlon or something, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
How was that?
It's pretty tough.
So how many miles did you have to run?
Um, 3 miles, um,
Swimming?
half mile,
And then what else?
12,
Biking.
12 miles on a bike.
What do you rather do, ride bike or run?
Um, Probably run.
Okay.
Just that I know I mean, it's a little bit more challenging than just riding a bike. I
Yeah,
know sometimes I'll just coast around.
right. Yeah, word around town is that you can run a 9 minute mile. I don't, I'm just saying, when you first started, how many minutes was your miles?
It's probably 11 or 12. I remember when I first ever ran, I started, I mean, I see people in recovery and, I mean, seeing them accomplish things and post things about running and doing those things, I was like, man, I want to do that. I started running the first time I ever ran 3 miles. My knees felt like they're gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was in bad condition. And in my head, I started thinking, like, is this how my knees are gonna feel all my life,
Yeah.
And I went up to somebody and I was like, man, I said, my knees feel like it's, bone on bone. And they're like, no, that's nothing. You'll get used to that. And sure enough, I did.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't get used to that feeling, but I mean, it went away.
Right. Well, that's awesome, brother. Um, at what point did you get your kids full time?
Um, I got my oldest one when I was, I think, 2 years or 3 years sober. I got custody of him,
Mm,
and my younger two, they stay with me on the weekends.
okay.
They live with their mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know y'all came over for the crawfish ball. Got them. They was loving that.
Yeah.
Um, so I got some questions for you, Teddy. What year was AA? What year did AA start?
Mm, Well, to me, probably 2016. Because to be honest, when I saw meetings when I first got clean, I was like, were these around all
Yeah,
this time?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, I used to walk past this building
Yeah,
in straight tears. You know what I mean?
I just created this.
Looking just for somebody to talk to. And y'all got coffee too.
Yeah.
Um, do you know what the acronym HALT stands for? HALT.
Hungry, angry, lonely, and
All
tired.
right, there you go. What is the term for the intense craving or overwhelming urge to use a substance after you've been sober a while?
Tired.
Yeah, like when you've been sober a year and
Obsession?
Yeah, the obsession triggers. You know what I mean? Uh, what they call it? What's the other thing? Some kind of recall. Um,
Euphoric.
euphoric recall.
Or recall.
I heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay. The Serenity Prayer is often recited in 12-step meetings, and you complete the most well-known portion of it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and
Wisdom to know.
know the things. Yeah, you got it, brother. All right, I got a couple more for you. Standing Rock Reservation spans across which states?
South Dakota and North Dakota.
Okay. What popular American automotive brand shares its name with a type of truck and might be a common sight at a Chevy mechanic shop?
Automotive brand.
Yeah.
Chevy.
Silverado? I don't know. By the way, Teddy's a mechanic. You know what I mean? He got employee of the month.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, crawfish are a popular delicacy. In which region of the United States known for its Cajun and Creole cuisine?
St. Louis, ourselves. Yeah.
Louisiana,
Louisiana.
man. What you talking about?
Yeah.
But you got to remember that one, Sandy.
Yeah.
You got to remember that one. Reaching a decade of sobriety is a significant milestone. The number 10 is often associated with what anniversary material? I don't know what that means.
Gold.
Decade? You get the 10-year watch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Gold. Teddy says gold. It's gold. Um, do you have any goals that you want to do or complete in the next 5 years?
Yeah. Um, just keep staying consistent in my kids' lives and keep on having awesome experiences. I
Right.
mean, the things that I've been doing so far, I mean, they're things I never dreamed of, you know. I mean, just the simplest things of going on family vacations was something so foreign to me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But nowadays, my kids, like, it's where are we going for our summer vacation? And
Yeah.
I only remember that from movies, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we're going on a summer vacation, and
Yeah.
I never
To the
thought,
cabin or
yeah,
something. Yeah. Ernest goes to camp.
yeah. But yeah, just staying. I mean, that's one thing is just goals, staying consistent in my recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to feel like I got this,
Mm-hmm.
so I, you know, don't need to be coming here no more. You know,
Right.
I mean, there's this dude at this meeting, like a couple weeks ago. I remember him saying, he was talking about somebody who was clean for a long time, and they ended up relapsing. And when he went up and asked him, he was like, "Hey, what happened?"
Mm-hmm.
And that guy said, "I started getting or worrying too much about the years and not enough about the days."
Yep.
And I was like, "Man, that's some good stuff to think
One
about, you
day at a
know?"
time.
Yep, yep.
Well, how's your prayer life and your higher power thing going for you?
It's good. I mean, that's one thing. Like in the beginning of your question, when you asked about if there was prayer or spiritual stuff, one thing, I mean, my dad, he wasn't really in my life, but I mean, he was somebody who kind of gave me the idea of how he looked at things, and I kind of adopted it. But I always remember him talking about his spirituality, and he'd say like, you know, the spirituality is like a teepee. All the poles are in different places, but they all lead to one spot. And I was like, man, that's cool. And he believes in the Bible. He believes in the native way. And just hearing him talk, like even though he had his problems, he was just super spiritual, you know. And like how the sun dances for the natives, where they pierce themselves and put themselves through pain and pray for their loved ones and stuff like that.
Hmm.
He used to always tell me, he was like, you know what? Jesus was the first sun dancer because he suffered for his loved ones.
Right.
And
Amen.
and
Hallelujah.
I used to always think like, you know, I mean, just the way he looked at things, you know, I mean, it opened my eyes to, you know, I mean, he has his own way, and then that's what's good. I mean, I'm prayers. I sometimes fall asleep on the couch and
Yeah.
forget to pray watching TV, but I mean, I try to remember that, you know, I mean, try to remember to pray when I can and stuff like that.
Roger that. Um, what's your favorite food?
Mhm. Probably Indian tacos.
Yeah. Do you remember when all the times you've been in prison that people you met that had life
Yeah, I mean,
that's still in there?
um, yeah, I mean, they had years to where they probably weren't getting out at
Mm,
their age,
right.
you know. And
And now that the life that you have with your kids and everything that's going for you, aren't you happy that you don't have life
yep,
and that you changed?
yep. And that's something, I mean, man, I mean, I try to remember that stuff every day, you know. I mean, keep track of my blessings and, you know, because I mean, there's times when, you know, I mean, I start to overlook them, you know, or, you know, my days start to get so repetitive
Hmm.
that I start to look at my blessings as, oh, this is repetitive.
Right.
My car, my house, my kids, my job, it's something I start to look at as a repetitive thing when,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, these were things that, you know, I mean, I prayed for, and just because a blessing happens every single day and I forget that it's a blessing, you know,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that I should, you know, push it off like it ain't
Right.
nothing.
So I got a little saying: never let your blessings become your burdens.
Oh yeah.
I say it again: never let your blessings become your burdens. Remember how it was when you used to pray for all this stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because the
Yeah.
blessings will come. You just got to be ready for
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? If you had any last words to say to anybody out there that's from Standing Rock, they're from Fort Berthold, they're anywhere that is struggling, uh, they don't know how to get sober, they just keep going to prison, they keep relapsing. If you had any words of wisdom to them out there,
Just to reach out. I mean, right now there's so much resources out there to reach out and just, you know, I mean, give it a shot. You
mhm,
know, I mean, whoever they can get a hold of, you know, and I mean, once they're in there, I mean, you know, try to give it an honest shot because I mean, 100% it's worth it. You know, I mean, and I know it's hard to think about other people, but I mean, you know, when you get in here, the ripple effect help so many people,
mhm,
you know, I mean, it's a blessing to everybody around you, not only yourself, you know, and just the other side of that is that, you know, I mean, when they're in their addiction, you know, that ripple effect is the same, you know, it's affecting more people than just them when they're out there using. And that's something I never realized, you know. I remember one time my kid's mom told me that my son was asking her, you know, like he is worried about where I was gonna go if I ended up passing away, you know. And it's something like I thought about for a long time. I was like, man, just think, you know, I mean, years and years of using and not even taking the time to think about how much my son thought about me. So I
mhm.
mean, if they're out there doing that, you know, and at least have an idea, just know that I mean there's a lot of people out here who are willing to or help out.
Right. Amen to that. Well, my man Ted Kelly, with 8 years of sobriety, um, from the Standing Rock Reservation and Fort Berthold Reservation. Well, I want to thank you, Teddy. I love you, brother.
Love you
You're a
too,
great
man.
man. You know what I mean? You're a great friend. And you keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. Please follow the YouTube page. If you type in Brothers Brandon, Sober Talk with Brothers Brandon, the Raging Cajun into YouTube, you'll see it pop up. Click on it. It's got the Sober Talk yellow symbol and hit subscribe. We're trying to get the YouTube up and popping. So go ahead and follow my page. You can follow what's the name of your page?
Mm. Daily Beats, man.
Yeah, Daily Beats. You can follow Daily Beats, but follow that Sober Talk page first.
Your contact.
But thanks for everybody for tuning in. Shout out to New Freedom Center, Tied for Second Sober Living, Maya's Mission, Prairie Recovery Center, Serenity Bridge Sober Living, the House of Fade, Treasures of the Sea and Earth, J Dobo, and everyone else that shows love the Sober Talk. From the bottom of my heart, we appreciate you. But if anybody would like to be a guest on the show or got any ideas, any events you'd like us to come to, just hit us up. But if you can't stay sober, catch your Uber. In the words of my great grand sponsor, Jack Height, if nobody told you yet, we love you, baby. Peace and chicken grease.
Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby.